Welcome back, Algebra 1 students. This is Mr. Salas working on another problem from our Unit 5 study guide. We're looking at the final problem in our study guide. We did it. Number 7 says, the thickness T in millimeters of a folded sheet of paper after it's folded n times. Well, that doesn't give much information. Basically, it's just telling us that we're folding a paper and that the thickness is in millimeters. That's what it says. It says find the growth factor using the graph. Okay, whenever we found the growth factor, we've never seen an increasing graph. It's always been decreasing, and we always start on this side. So we need to figure out, first of all, let me zoom in a little bit more so I can make the graph look a little bit bigger. There we go. First of all, I need to be able to label my graph so that it makes sense to me. So I know that there's 5 lines here. So there's 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right here, this third line, or around here, that looks like it's 1. I don't know how they divided this graph. Let's see. If they did 0. Let's just say 1 is around here. So this is 1. This one would be 3. This one right here would be 5. Okay, whoops. I have one job. This is 5. And then this right here is 7. But nobody cares about 7. There's nothing at 7. Perfect. So now, I'm going to go ahead and remember, to find the growth factor, I need to find 2 consecutive points. I'm not going to use 0 and 1 because honestly, they're not on a line. It's easier for me to figure out a value if they're on a line. Since those values are not on a line, I'm not going to use those. I can stick with, let's see, which one's easier to figure out. I feel like the value for 5 and 6 are easier because this one is right on the line right here. And if we're going from 3 to 4, each line right here has to be 0.2. So this would be 3.2, 3.2, 3.4, 3.6, and 3.8, right? So on. So this line right here is 3.2. Sorry I made it small, but it's 3.2. Okay? So we know we got our first point. So that first dot is at 3.2. This next dot, if we look at 5, this dot is 2 lines below 2. So we're going by 0.2, sorry. This one would be 2.8, so this one would be 2.6. If this is 2.6, now I have my 2 consecutive values. How do I know they're consecutive? Well, 5 and 6, they're right next to each other. That means they're consecutive values. So for me to find the growth factor, I can go ahead and say 3.2 divided by 2.6 is equal to, so this is 2.6, is equal to, so we gotta do it on our calculator, 3.2 divided by 2.6. And that gives me 1.23. So let's just keep it at 1.23. That is my growth factor. Perfect. So now, do we know the amount of thickness that we started with? Well, based off our graph, this right here, this is 0.2. But the dot is below 0.2. So we can even say it's at 0.1. We'll say it's 0.1. Because the dot is between 0 and 0.2. So our initial value is at 0.1 times 1.23 to the power of n. Why n? Well, because we need to know the number of folds. And here is the equation for the graph. Now, on the test, the problem will be a lot simpler, and I will make sure that the graph, if you have a graph, is much more clear and has more values. So don't be intimidated. This is just one way to get you prepared for the test, okay? If you have any questions, let me know, or rewatch the video to see if you can catch my mistakes or your mistakes or the questions you might have. So yes, see you in the next one.